I don't need to have that music on because I got Moga Village music playing. Alright, I got the chat open. Just need to get it on my little... I've got like a little tripod that I put my chat on. I got my chat on my phone. Oh my goodness. And then I just have to send out the notification to Twitter. I tend to send it out to Twitter, so let's just do that. Tripod? Reference to Monster Hunter Try? Maybe. Hi, Jacob. Hi, Fungus. How is the audio? Is the game audio at a good setting? It's pretty loud for me. I have it turned down. You guys just let me know if it's too loud. I'm going to post the link on Twitter. Game's a bit quiet. Okay, then I can turn it up a bit. I think that should be better. Alright, perfect. So today is going to be a pretty chill Monster Hunter stream. We got a little bit of news. We got a little bit of news over the last week. So we could probably cover that. Talk about it. If there was any like specific like content that should be covered. You know, I always debate, like, should I just, like, watch videos on these live streams? Should I just, like, watch, like, let's say, for example, IGN's coverage, because IGN just did, and a bunch of other, like, news outlets just did, like, a huge press release thing for Monster Hunter Wilds. It's like, should I ever cover those? But I always feel like, I don't know, it's not really my thing. Like, I kind of just, like, let y'all bring in the... Like, I'm well-versed in what's happening. I'm constantly keeping up with all the news. Everything. So, I guess it doesn't really matter. I definitely want to play Monster Hunter today. So we're going to play a little bit of Monster Hunter Try, because I want to fight Lagiacrus. Because I love Lagiacrus. And, actually, the main reason why I want to fight Lagiacrus is because recently, I built a new build of Lagiacrus. So I'm going to show it off. I know, there's lots of people who every time they hop on these streams, right, they'll say, they don't actually say this. I'm sure there's lots of people who literally do not care about my hobby. But I have to advertise it. How about I'll wait a bit. I'll wait till there's a couple more people. I have a feeling that today might be a bit of a chiller stream, like in terms of turnout, and that's just because I'm doing it on an off time. Usually I don't do this on a Saturday, and Saturday is the day that people are busy, so I have to assume that yeah, it's gonna be a slow turnout today, but that's okay. What were we doing last time? I know I got the Brachydio Sword and Shield, which is awesome. What do I need to upgrade it? Steel Uragan Scoot, and then more Brachydios items. But that's okay. It's got blue sharpness, it's got good attack, it's got good slime. I wanted to buy some of your builds for a while, but I'm a bit cashless right now. One day Lego Azure Wrath will be mine. It's a really good build. It's actually a very good build. So I'm the only funny thing is that people tend to not like Azure Rathlos, like at all. Azure Rathlos is probably like hands down the least popular flagship monster People do not like Azure-Rathalos at all. I'm a big Azure-Rathalos fan. I love Azure-Rathalos. I think he was at his best probably in either this game or World, honestly. I think he was great in World. Hunt a Lagiacrus. These items will be fine. I haven't used Sword and Shield underwater in a long time, so I'll be honest, I might be a bit sloppy. I also have not been playing a 3rd gen game in a while, so controls are a little bit off. Actually, I haven't been playing it myself, but I have been teaching a friend of mine how to play Monster Hunter Rise. They're playing Monster Hunter Rise, and I'm sort of just like showing them the ropes, because they have a Switch and they don't have a PC, and it's like, okay, well, what games do you want to play? It's like there's Generations Ultimate and there's Rise. I was gonna let them borrow my copy of Generations Ultimate, but it's missing. I can't find it. So, Rise it was. I guess we could have just bought Generations Ultimate on the eShop. I'm sure it's pretty cheap, right? Anyway, yeah, I'm just showing her how to play Rise, and it is crazy how much of a difference that game is. In terms of like mobility and just like what it demands from the player in terms of combat and positioning, it's so totally different. And I mean, I recently was playing Wilds because of the beta, and even Wilds is like there's such a difference between even Rise and Wilds in terms of like even traversal and movement. Because Wilds all has those, like, has big open spaces, and Rise has the, it almost wants you to do parkour. Like, you're constantly jumping over, like, cliffs and stuff. And maps like the Sandy Plains, like, that's all you're doing. What's up, broski? You're playing Peak. Yeah. Try is pretty good. Well, technically this is 3 Ultimate. I'm not playing Try. I debated either playing Try or 3 Ultimate. I settled on 3 Ultimate just because I like the roster a bit more. Even though I think that overall Try is the better game. You need to see him in terms of texture variations, so like his wings are more prominently green in forest zones, for example, Montana volcanoes. Oh, for Azure-Rathalos? For sure. My biggest gripe with Azure-Rathalos in 5th gen and World was just that he had no color. There was no color at all to his design. But thankfully mods can fix that. Oh, I didn't get hit by that. Interesting. Heike, I want you to see you and Rada discuss Monster Wilds on stream. I don't know. I mean, that's not going to happen for a while, I think. Rada and his group of Doomers are very, like, anti-Wilds right now. I feel like if I did go on, it would actually just be mostly me saying, like, actually, I think that this game looks pretty good, and then he's like, but all the little things, don't they bother you? And I'm like, they should bother me, but for some reason they don't. And I think it's because the stuff that I've been asking for so long, outweighs the little things. Like, yeah, obviously I would prefer to have tracking system, but I guess I don't care anymore. Like, all the other things that I've asked for, in terms of, like, how quests work, like the monster density, how the maps are, and also just like the direction the story and themes are going. Like, it's everything I could have asked for, and I think I'm okay if there isn't good tracking systems if everything else is pretty great. I guess that's the verdict that I came to. Hey, name already taken. GU is 40 bucks on the eShop still. That's not so bad. Most games are 70, like, actually like $80 in Canada. So, like, I think Wilds it is straight up like $90. What exactly were you asking for? I was asking for a complete rework of the quest system. That was the big thing that I really wanted from Monster Hunter since the beginning, and I think it's because my first Monster Hunter was Try, and I had this misunderstanding that I thought that the series was about just free hunting. And then I found out that free hunting was just a new gimmick that they had just for this one game. They did bring it back for Ultimate in the Everwood expeditions. And then eventually in World and Rise there was just the expedition mode. But what I wanted was a game that was completely built around that. Like, I wanted to be able to just freely do whatever I want, and the game would give me proper rewards for it. I never liked the mission-based system that Monster Hunter had. So moving away from that was number one. That's like my biggest request. And then what that allowed for the game overall, I think has been very beneficial. It's a lot of little things coming together to make something so holistically different that I'm almost able to view a lot of the major changes in terms of like balance as okay. Like stuff like being able to access all your items in the base camp, I've never really had a problem with that because I think that that's required for a game that has like an expedition-based system. What we haven't played yet is Monster Hunter Wilds that like the Monster Wilds that we've played so far is a beta that gives you hundreds of potions for free. We haven't played a Monster Hunter Wilds that does not give you hundreds of potions for free. So who knows? The game could be quite different. They will probably still give you potions pretty easily, I bet. And they'll probably give you lots of honey pretty easily. But we haven't seen it yet, and so I'm still kind of hoping that the game will ask of you, especially if you're stuck out on an expedition. If I'm playing in a way where I'm stuck out on an expedition, I'm just not going to be returning back to the village often. And if I'm not returning back to the village often, I'm not going to be collecting honey. So I'll have to require myself to get all the potions I need out on the field. And that's exactly what I want from a Monster Hunter game. I want to get all my resources out in the field. And if that's happening, then I don't mind being able to access all my items in the item box, because theoretically, I wouldn't have a lot to begin with. The other thing too, I'm good at the game, relatively good at the game. Like, I'm at a point where, like, I don't need to go back to the item box, and I think most players aren't doing that to begin with, right? Like, I want to bet that most of the players in this chat room and the people watching this stream are Monster Hunter players who will play a 5th gen game. The option is there for them to go back to the item box and restock, and they probably, on average, they probably don't ever have to. Either because they're good enough at the game, or they just, it's too much of a hassle. And it's like, okay, well, I'd rather just wait until I faint. So that's how it typically is. The free hunting style of wilds feels very natural. I like going from target to target over the course of a couple hours so far. Yeah, exactly. That's what I want. That's what I've wanted for the series for a long time. And that alone is so important to me. What if WildStrayup just doesn't have a farm, but you engage in trade with other villages? See, that would be cool. I'd be totally down with that. Of course, like, the game still has fast travel, and that's something I have been personally debating. Like, on paper, right, I should be upset with fast travel. I should be very much against fast travel. But for some reason, I don't seem to care. Maybe it's because I've gotten used to it. Maybe I'm a frog being boiled, and I don't realize I've been boiled yet. But also, I think that, like, it doesn't matter. I tend to never fast travel during combat anyway. I guess, like, theoretically, right? Right now, if I could fast travel back to camp in this game, right now, I could, but I don't need to. And if I needed to, I would just bring a Farcaster, but I rarely ever do. I don't know. I've gotten to the point where I kind of just believe that it's a waste of time to argue about this stuff. Because I used to be pretty weird about it too. Like, when I made my Monster 2 video, I used to get really hung up on this stuff. And I thought that it was important, but then time passed and I realized, no, I think there's other elements to Monster Hunter that are more important than the little mechanics like this. And I think it's some of the other bigger mechanics. I'm not sure. I think I just have a lot of faith in the director. That's all. From what I've seen so far. Jacob, what do you main? Depends on the game. If it's 5th gen, I only really use Charge Blade. If it's 4th gen, I basically only use Charge Blade. But if it's... Why is he stinky? What's happening? Or is that Felvine? I think that's Felvine. If it's, what's it called? If it's 3rd gen, I play a lot of different weapons in 3rd gen and 2nd gen. I don't play a lot of 1st gen Monster Hunter. I'm not a big 1st gen Monster Hunter fan, to be honest. It's okay, it's just, it's not my cup of tea. Notice that some monsters are enormous, laggy for example, as long as a female blue whale on average. Yeah, an Arzuros is bigger than a polar bear. Like, they're giant. These monsters are huge. I do still think a lot of these monsters come together and make an experience that some just might not like as much as they could have. Bottom line, we're all still going to play the game. Well, that's the thing. I think that there are some people who aren't going to play the game. I think that we are finally going to see some people who are going to drop the game. And I've even seen it a little bit with Rise. There were some people who just didn't play Sunbreak because Rise wasn't it for them. And I also am seeing it with Wilds. There are some people who are just not going to play it based on what they've seen because it feels too different than what they enjoy from Monster Hunter. I was hoping I could get a guard on that. Nope. It's gonna run away. And sharpen up here. That's another thing. I don't mind being able to sharpen on your sacred. I really don't think it's that big of a deal. And I think it's because, like, you could have always run away from the monster or just find an opening. Like, I really don't think it's that big of a deal. Because, like, in principle, you're like, oh yeah, that seems really overpowered. And it's like, is it really? Like, I was always, like, running, you know, speed sharpening and... Or those items you can get, the wet fish that just increase your sharpening speed. You can also eat for speed sharpening too, which I tend to do in some of these older games. I don't know. I think that there's lots of workarounds already. Well, that's kind of nuts. I know Iceborne sold a lot less than World did. That was like equivalent to Sunbreak. I don't know how big of a drop-off it was. I don't. I do know that base World sold extremely well. And I have a feeling that Wilds will be the same, but... Najarella is 60 meters long, uncurled. That's a mid-level monster. I don't mind it. I don't like how it changes the pacing. Always going to be this way even if it was a much slower game. You can't satisfy everyone. For sure, you can't satisfy everyone. And I honestly, I don't want to disvalue people's concerns. Like, if you do have concerns and if you feel like it completely breaks the game, being able to do things like sharpen while you're mounted, like, you know, power to you. I don't want to take that away from you. And I totally understand why you might feel that way. Because even my friend, when I was showing her Rise, and I told her, like, oh yeah, you can technically sharpen, because she was having trouble. She was in the arena, and she was like, I need to sharpen. I was like, if you need to sharpen, you can ride the Palamute. And she's like, oh, isn't that kind of overpowered? And I'm like, yeah, but you do it anyway. I don't know. The monsters are getting pretty overpowered. No, truthfully, the hunter is overpowered. I will say that. I don't know. It's a complicated discussion for sure. I don't think that there's an easy answer to any of it. I think it comes down to whether or not the game feels right. Do I like underwater combat? I just thought about that right now, and I think underwater combat, if it sucks if you're using sword and shield. This has not been the most fun. Is bro using Brachy sword and shield? Yeah, I am. Is that a problem? Is this like a terrible idea? I wanted to learn sword and shield a bit better. Is that why it's taking forever for me to kill this thing? Monster has changed, but I definitely will never agree, at least for now, that Monster Hunter has lost its core. No, it's not lost its core at all. I can understand some concerns, though, about it changing. My issues with the game came from the changes. I guess the changes that I found issue with were always the stuff relating to the aesthetic. And I think that aesthetic can be established with gameplay as well. I think that's something that's often not really properly discussed. But you can establish certain aesthetics through the gameplay itself. And I felt that games like Monster Hunter Rise just trivialize the relationship between the hunter and the monster. And I feel like Monster Hunter is all about the relationship between the hunter and the monster. I made a whole video about that. But when you like really break it down, that's what the I guess like the artistic intention of this game series is supposed to be. It's about that relationship and what it kind of like represents. And you can view that on a gameplay level and just be like, okay, well, it's just, you know, the battle between the player and the in-game enemy, but you can also view it as more of like an artistic sense and be like, okay, well, it represents like humanity and our relationship with nature, and it's a really interesting and fun way of interpreting that relationship, and that's what makes people really love the game world so much, because it feels fresh and different, and it also doesn't feel like it's in your face about some environmental message. It's a bit more subtle than that. These things are important. Never played Try before. Can you play it on Switch or Xbox? Sorry, my friend, you cannot play it on Switch or Xbox. Unfortunately, as it stands, the only way to play Monster Hunter Try is if you get an original copy and a Wii, or you emulate it. And the only way to play 3 Ultimate is if you get an original copy and a Wii U or a 3DS, or you emulate it. So. And I made a whole video about how they probably will not port these games. Because in my belief, if they really wanted to port these games, they would have done it already. And until they do it, they just don't want to. Because it makes more money to sell the new product. That's how a lot of game companies operate. If their new product isn't making enough money, that's when they start to rely on nostalgia. And they start to remake some of their old titles. Or if they've run out of ideas. Because game companies are not your friend. They don't always listen. Sometimes they just don't care. And that's gonna hit me. Leaving the area to sharpen is punishment, though. Sitting through 2 loading screens is agony. It's not that big of a deal. I guess to some people. It sucks. It's terrible. I hate loading screens. I had a conversation with a friend the other day. He's a real Zoomer, right? He's not Gen Alpha. He's definitely Gen Z. Just a couple years younger than me. I think like 5 years younger than me. No, actually, I think he's 7 years younger than me. So he's quite a bit younger than me. But he's a good friend. And he was talking about how he couldn't sit through the movie Stalker. He was watching Stalker, which is what the Stalker games are based off of. Because there was a new Stalker game that just came out. We were talking about it. And he's like, I couldn't sit through Stalker. It was too boring. He said he fell asleep. And I was making fun of him. I was like, oh, you Zoomer brain, you can't handle something that's slow. He needs something that has, he needs something that's flashy and loud and has, he's a big Jujutsu Kaisen fan, which I know nothing about that series, but I'm like, we were joking that it's like, he needs to see a domain expansion every 5 seconds, otherwise he gets bored. And I feel like that's I think that's happening to a lot of people. They need entertainment. Feed the brain, fashy, feed the brain. Yeah, the funny thing is that loading screens, you said it right in the chat there, they do make the world feel bigger. It's something that no loading screens has a much harder time doing. Loading screens actually do make the maps feel bigger, and the maps in the older games, especially something like the Arctic Ridge, or like the Snowy Mountains, as it used to be called, that map is huge. It is so big. That is one of the biggest maps, like just in terms of geography. Like you are actually climbing up like the Himalayas. That's crazy. But the problem is that if you were to do that through like an open world map, and you were to make it as accurate as it was depicted in the game, it would just be too much. It would just be so big. That would be the whole game. The whole game world would have to be just this one mountain. We're talking like Breath of the Wild size maps. Like it's a bit much. And that's why a lot of the maps do feel smaller, despite technically having more space for you to run. I was having a conversation the other day, last night actually, about how sometimes the absence of voice acting does something aesthetically that it's something that having voice acting can't do. I think it's the same thing as loading screens, where it's like there's just certain subtle aesthetic things. Ooh, tail came off. You know what? I'm gonna carve this. Oh, a plate! Wow, okay, cool. My streamer luck strikes again. I've been trying to break the back, and that's probably why this is taking so long. If I was just aiming for the chest, he probably would have died faster. Imagination fills in the gaps. Capcom could focus more on making each individual area unique. All meat, no bones. Yeah. It also doesn't help that in the newer games now we have better traversal options. So we can race across the other side of the map using things like the Sacred or the Palamute or Tail Rider in World. So it's very easy to get around now. Oh, and there's also fast travel. So the maps absolutely do feel smaller. Like a reason why a lot of players simply don't like the Volcanic Hollow or the Sunken Hollow is because it's annoying to traverse from one end of the map to the other. And the same thing goes for the Snowy Mountains. But you can't really say that about a lot of the maps in 5th gen. Maybe the Ancient Forest is a little bit difficult to traverse to get all the way up to the tree, but it's not that hard because you can just fast travel, right? So go. Yay, I broke it! So that's everything broken. Let's kill him. Oh, should I capture? Higher chance of a plate. I mean a ruby, right? Sapphire? Let's do it. There we go. Easy money. That took way too long. Much easier to break with blunt. Yeah. Why do you want Lagiacrus's back? So I can get shell shockers. So I usually have no trouble getting rare carves. It's always like strange material drops that give me trouble. So in this case, yeah, like the shell shockers will give me trouble. I say that despite the fact that I know Monster Wilds Map is probably the biggest desert map in the series, it still felt very small to me. Even the sandy plains in the Wildspire Waste felt bigger. Exactly. And that's because of the traversal options available. Of course, you could just go out onto the map without the Sacred, There's nothing stopping you. And the other reason why it feels very small, I talked about this last stream, right? There's a whole section of the map that you just aren't going in. It's the part where the Chatacabra sometimes hangs out. There's a whole section. It's like the Canyon Gorge area. Did I get any more plates? Yeah, I got another plate. That's awesome. I don't think I got any shell shockers, though. See, I'm telling you, those shell shockers, they get me every time with those. There's a whole area of the Windward Plains that we're just not exploring. And I believe that some monsters, like Rathian, will probably be in that area of the map that we aren't exploring, and it'll probably help make the map a little bit bigger. That being said, I need to ask you all. When you were playing... Oh, why do I have Lagombi stuff? When you were playing Wilds, at any point did you ever manually I guess like traverse the map back to the starting camp? So when I was playing the game, you start in that starting camp, right? And that's where all the characters are, where Alma is and Gemma. For some reason, I couldn't figure out how to get back up there. Like, I was looking around, couldn't figure it out, gave up, and I just fast traveled up there. Did any of you manually go back there? Or did you just fast travel back? Because I never did. And I think that is an issue. Maybe that is like a stronger sort of negative towards fast travel for me, is the fact that I am not taught how to traverse these maps at all. It's kind of hard to get back up there. With the sacred only paths. You can, but it's annoying. Oh. You have to start from like the bottom of the map. On feet, no, but yes, there are sacred paths. Couldn't find it back. That's crazy. Yeah, I think that's a legitimate, and for me, that's an anti-fast travel thing. Because if I don't even know the way to get back, then I don't believe I should have earned the right to fast travel back. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Are you gonna watch the Game Awards? I am gonna watch the Game Awards. I definitely don't stream events like that. It's just not something I do. Just give them more honey. Busy bees. Oh, I can only do that many. I guess I have to go free hunting. I was more asking if you would watch it and not stream it. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm probably just going to watch it with my friends. Just everyone in my Discord. But, if there was like a Monster Hunter event, I would consider streaming that. But even then, okay, the truth is, I don't stream a lot of these things because I've got a lot of competitors. And I don't feel like it's worth trying to compete with all those competitors. There's so many other people streaming it. When I'd rather just try to cut my own piece of the pie, I'd rather just create my own content on the aftermath of it. And then just, you know... Because this is a game, right? Like, this whole... content creation is a competition. It's a game. It's a market. It's... This is my job, so... I need to put those hot drinks away. I need to go free hunting. There's a good idea of who's going to be on the Tokyo Game Show. I mean, the Game Awards trailer. Yes, me too. I've also got pretty good feeling of what we're gonna see. But no talking about it. No talking about it. I should have put a thing in the chat that says no talking about leaks. Maybe I should. I'll do it really, really quick. Wait, no, I have to do it on my PC. Hold on. What do you mean? I need someone screaming, looking at the camera, pointing after seeing Arkfeld showing up and saying, "I am the monster hunter." I heard Rathalos is coming back. Yeah. The absolute state of gaming. I like to make fun of the Game Awards. I think we all do, right? Like, does anyone take them seriously? It's like 5 hours. 4 of those hours are advertisements. The last hour is actual Game Awards. And it never feels genuine at all. Hot picks for Wilds, Laranoth. I want older small monsters return. I want Aptonoth to come back, but I don't think there will. I feel like we have a higher chance of Popo coming back than Aptonoth. I don't really need paintball. Another game of the year to Elden Ring. That's so weird. It already won Game of the Year. It doesn't need to win it again. What does it have to prove? Nothing. Aptonoth are in the game. I realize there is an Aptonoth in the game, but I wanted to hunt Aptonoth. That's the difference. I want to see a Rathalos hunting Aptonoth. Just like I want to see a Velociprey. I didn't check what the forecast is. I want to see the opening cutscene of Monster Hunter 1 in actual gameplay. I want to see the opening cutscene of Monster Hunter 2 in actual gameplay. I want to see Monster Hunter 3's opening cutscene in actual gameplay. Right, it's free hunting. I need to kill everything. Alright, Kelby, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, little one. This is a weird beta of Wild. I did say I want to play Wilds. But yeah. Do you think the Kelby are gonna be in Wilds? It'd be weird if Kelby weren't in Wilds, right? Do you see that Radow hunting the Serenophs? It looks exactly how Rathalos would carry a large animal. Exactly! It was so cool to see! Oh, speaking of Radow, for those who haven't seen it yet, I might as well do it now. I'll do it now. Show it off. So, what's a good picture? Honestly, this is a good picture. Okay, let's just really quickly... Can I just click and drag this into here? No, it won't let me click and drag. So I gotta do it this way. Now that'll let me. Alright. I built Radow out of Lego. So the instructions are coming soon. I also just released the Balahara. So let's just get rid of that. I can show the Balahara. Where is it here? For those that just aren't on my other socials. Let's... And then this is the Balahara build, which has free instructions. You don't have to pay anything. I don't know what's going on But the piece down here, that's not supposed to look like that. Whatever. It's a glitch. And then, because we just fought Lagiacrus, oh no, I just released the TikTok with Lagiacrus, so, like the short. So you've all seen what Lagiacrus looks like. Do you play 3U 3DS instead of 3U Wii U? Do the 30 FPS cap on Wii U? I play it because it's easier to emulate 3DS games than it is to emulate Wii U. That's the reason why. It doesn't get much deeper than that. It's easier to emulate. It's easier to access like faux online servers, because you can fake local play with 3DS over internet. My cat keeps knocking into the microphone, so if you just hear like random bumping, that's... Ooh, great Jaggy! Okay. I need my cat to stop doing that. Monster Wild's character creation music makes me want to fall asleep with my thumb in my mouth. Anti-hunting music. Yeah, it's definitely a very different vibe, and I'm really feeling it. There's definitely a special feeling I'm getting from Wilds in general. And I think that the story is gonna really elevate those feelings that we're feeling with the aesthetics so far. This will finally be a Monster Hunter game that actually respects this world and the characters and the monsters and everything, and it'll really feel like it's a proper discussion about the relationship between hunters and monsters. Sorry, the microphone was far away from me. The cat is being a nuisance. I love my cat, but she always chooses to want attention when I'm working. I didn't play Sword and Shield in Wilds. The sidesteps look kind of off in video footage. Honestly, after the recent discussions and reveals that have come out during like the press release that happened earlier this week, I would not be surprised if every weapon has gone through like major control scheme differences and changes. And that the build that the beta build could be almost a year old, and we just, like, it's just a very, very, very old build of the game. Great Jackie, sound effects so good. I was excited to see how an Insect Glaive that couldn't be in the air all the time would play, but Insect Glaive people just like to bounce. Yeah. Oh, the Rogi are attacking the Great Jaggy. Do you see that? Huh. And Turf Wars didn't exist before. Durambros got ultra cucked. Every Brute Wyvern got into Iceborne besides him. Plus, Rise, a portable third homage, didn't include him either. Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Rise not having only like one Brute Wyvern was super weird. Like, I would have swear that Glavenus and Deviljho would have made it in. At least them. That pink? Yes. Yeah, poison me, mommy. Oh, she's big. I really like Pink Rathian and Azure Rathalos. I think that they are prettier than the normal types. Like they were almost done with certain weapons already, such as longsword. Greatsword also felt very complete. It's just weird that they purposefully, they said allegedly, they purposefully deactivated that one bounce attack that Insect Glaive has, where it can stay in the air, so that players like you don't use Insect Glaive like it was used in the past. And that's, to me, that's very specific and interesting. So it makes me wonder, like, how many other weapons did they, like, greatly modify? She really wants to get me with that tail. Another thing I feel about Monster Wild's fluidity people are talking about is that every time, everything just feels more slippery and seems to slide around more. Monsters move one step and 1 and 2 slide with each one step, 1, 2 slide with each movement. I have to use Sacred to do that special traversal animation. Yeah. If you use focus mode, like if you abuse focus mode, then everything kind of clicks better. The reason why you have way more movement is because the game, like, the combat is programmed around you using focus mode even if you don't use it. Which makes you feel slippery, and it almost feels like your upper torso is separated from your bottom part of your body. Like your legs and your arms are not moving in unison like they are, for example, in a game like this one, like Monster Hunter Tri. And that's because they want you to abuse focus mode. And once you do, it's okay. Personally, I don't think it's necessary. I don't think we need focus mode. And I will try to find, as soon as I am able to, like, mod the game, I'm definitely going to remove the little scout fly sparkles on the weak spots, because I'm going to be using focus mode even without, but also I think I can tell where a wound is on a monster. I don't need the scout flies to tell me. Nice. Did Rogi just get... No, it was Cha-Cha that was poisoned. I was gonna say, I don't think a Rogi can get poisoned. Not from a Rathian. Maybe it can. One other monster pair of sexual dimorphism. Well, we had Teostra and Lunastra, and you guys didn't like those, though, so... Maybe they're just like, we shouldn't bother anymore. Does Black Diablos count? Is that? What do you think will show up at the Game Awards for Monster Hunter? We're not gonna have this conversation. I've made a Twitter post about it. I can read my Twitter post if you want my official... If you want my actual answer, just read my Twitter post. I talked about what monster I think is going to show up. In other words, I didn't give a proper answer. I basically said, like, look, those that know what's going to show up knows what's going to show up. It's better we just don't talk about it. Unfortunately, a lot of the game has been spoiled, so it's better to just avoid it. They gotta make try super. 3U is so weird to me. I have a feeling that, despite them never doing a port of the old games, I do believe that they will do what they did with Rise, but with Try. I think that we're gonna get a spiritual successor of Try. It'll probably have a new village. It probably won't be the same village, but it'll have a lot of overlap, and it's gonna have underwater combat. I think it is eventually going to happen. Like, they probably won't bring back Locklack City. I don't know, I doubt it. They'd probably put the effort into a simpler online hub. We're not even really sure if there's gonna be, like, an endgame gathering hub type area in Wilds. I have to assume that there will be, because there's no way we're just gonna be, like, randomly hooking up with other hunters just willy-nilly. No, I've got a thing here that says no talking about the leaks, and if something happens, I'm gonna delete it. If you see someone mentioning monsters, if it's safe to assume that they're probably just lying, okay? They're just making it up. And you'll rest better if you just even if they're not, just pretend that they are. But please don't. I mean, most of the people in my chat I feel like are decent human beings, and they won't spoil it for other people, especially if I say, like, hey, don't do that. I mean, I don't think anyone wants to risk a ban. Lao Shen Lung confirmed. Rathlos will come back, I'm sorry. Okay, Lao Shen Lung is definitely never coming back, I can tell you that. I mean, they could surprise us, but... Is she gonna land here, or is she gonna... Nope, she's going. What if I say... Well, it's better just not to talk about it. I know nothing about... It's better just to not talk about them. Oops. Oh, snap. What a waste. I should have sharpened before I attacked. I want this, though. Oh, this Aptonoth is huge! Also, can't find your Twitter post. How? What? It's the one... Whatever. You're not looking hard enough. I did it a couple days ago. Like 5 days ago. It's like 4 blocks of text. It was all in images, and it says Game Awards at like the top of it. Speaking of not looking hard enough. Okay, this is not at all to insult anyone. And I know that's not a good start to say that. But it's something that I've noticed about people in general. Maybe it's that Zoomer TikTok brain that's like damaging everyone. But people just aren't trying hard enough to find things that they're looking for. Like every time people will say to me, it's like, oh, where is this thing? And I'm like, I don't know, like, just look a little bit harder. It's like, how do you do this? Oh, you know, look a little bit harder. If you Google anything, there's a Reddit tutorial for it. Like that's just the truth. Anyway, the point I'm making is, I think I've talked about it on stream before. It does not matter how many times I show that there is a tutorial that explains how to get the pieces for my Lego monsters. It does not matter how many times I point it out, how I pin it on my Patreon. When you sign up for my Patreon, the first thing it shows you is the video tutorial, and it says click here to learn how to get the parts for your monsters. My patrons will skip that tutorial, go straight to me and ask me, how do I do it? And I'm baffled every time. I'm like, buddy, I gave you a tutorial. It was right there. You pressed X on the tutorial and then went to me to ask for the tutorial. I find that funny. This is all walks of life. This isn't just my Patreon. Like, this is just how people are. Google is broken, Jacob. I don't use Twitter. So I have to go down a rabbit hole to find it. I guess they just want to talk to you. And I'm okay with that. People are totally allowed to talk to me. I don't mind that at all. I'm pretty open. Like, this goes for anyone. Like, if you're just like, I want to ask Jacob a question, you can. Like, you can send me a DM on any of my platforms. There's Instagram, Discord, hell, even Steam. Add me on Steam. It's all in my link tree. I think it's all in the post below. Like, the link. I'm finally poisoned. Took her long enough. People are mostly useless. I find it funny. Again, this is not to insult people. I'm sure I've done it myself. I've completely glossed over an obvious tutorial or obvious frequently asked questions, you know, just to completely disregard it and then ask someone for the answer. We've all done it. But it is funny when you're on that end, right? Like, when you have to deal with it, and then you start to really notice it. You're like, oh. That's probably what it's like working in IT. I probably could never work in IT department. Because it would just be constantly people being like, my keyboard is not connected, what happened? It's like, have you tried plugging it in? I am dying. Not for longer than 5-10 years anymore, yeah. I really want that tail. Her tail is stubborn, like it is not coming off. Can we talk about how sexy the hunters look? With some melanin and wilds? Ow! My cat just slapped me in the nose. No, I'm allowed to laugh. So in your tweet, does redacted refer to a game mechanic or a monster? It doesn't matter. If you know, you know. Or if you really need to know, I guess DM me. My cat doesn't like me laughing at your comment. No, I agree. The hunter looks fantastic, and that's really what we want. Like, we want our characters to look good if we make them look good, right? Obviously, if we want our characters to not look super sexy, then that's also okay. But I like how, like, some of the characters people have made are crazy. Yeah, the hunter looks as fantastic as you make it, or as horrifying as you will dare. Yeah. My issue, though, is, I cannot seem to make myself. So, I made myself a Wilds character, right? I made myself, my face in Wilds. Or at least I made a character that was inspired by my own face. For some reason, it doesn't look like me at all, and I can't get it to look like me, and I don't know if it's... I don't know if it's like... Maybe just like generic white boys just don't look good in that character editor, or what? But I gotta tell you, yeah, I couldn't get him to look right at all. It looked like a weird, like, dark version of me. Like an anti-Jacob. Like, it was like my evil clone. I'm planning on making 2 characters in Wilds. I'm gonna do 2 characters. They are 2 OCs from my my visual novel project, which is based off of my Pikmin fanfiction project that I've been working on for over 10 years now. The fanfiction 10 years, the visual novel not as much. By the way, I have been like that's getting pretty close. I could safely say that maybe by the end of 2025, I'll finally have my first game out. But we'll see how that goes. I've been programming it. That's the thing. You know, everyone talks about I'm making a game, but I've actually been programming it. I got a game engine going. Beginning, middle, and end. You can beat the game. Even if it's just a visual novel, it's still a lot, right? Anyway, the point is, I've got 2 OCs from that, and I'm gonna make them in as my Wilds characters. There we go. There's the tail. Let's carve it. Come on, give me a ruby. A plate! What is happening? There we go. That took forever. So you'll see my 2 characters. My plan, though, I'll be honest, my plan for my male character, I am probably going to use Longsword. Because playing through the game twice is going to be a slog, so I might as well use the easy mode on the one playthrough. And then the other playthrough, with the female character, I'm going to use... like some of the weapons that I actually like Charge Blade. Or, I've really come around to Sword and Shield. I've really come to appreciate Sword and Shield, so I'll probably be using Sword and Shield too. I also want to use Greatsword again, but I tend to struggle a bit with Greatsword. I don't know, in certain matchups I like Greatsword. Like, I like using Greatsword against Kieran. And I would, like, Nargacuga, I like using Greatsword. I could probably use Greatsword against Rathian. I think it's monsters I can easily, like, telegraph, I guess? Is that the right word? I don't know. Purple Pikmin X Gormagala. Purple Pikmin X Gormagala? Imagine having to make a new character for every weapon. That'd be wild. Because your headcanon is your character only specializes in the one weapon type. Well, actually, my OCs do only specialize in 1 or 2 weapon types. So, like, in the lore, the hunter is trained to specialize in multiple weapon types. Like, they're trained to specialize in all of them. That's why you can pick up any weapon and you already know the bulk of the move set. Obviously, there is some there's some examples of that not happening in the portable series, like in Generations Ultimate, you have to be taught the extra skill attacks and whatnot, and then in Rise, you're taught the switch skills from Master Atsushi. So those are exceptions, right? Let's just check with Kayamba. Are there any monsters, Kayamba? There is a monster! It's a flying wyvern. I wonder what it is. Sword and Shield has become better, I think, since you won't get locked into the climb combo finisher. Instead, you can finish with a power stab. Keep it on your ground. Keep you on the ground. Hated the climb up combo. I'll be giving my cat the most ridiculous voice I play wild. Good. Good. Give your cats cute, ridiculous voices. It's funny. Your character learned it in the Matrix while in the womb. It's a regular Rathian. I guess it's Rathian season. All the girls are here. Girls gone wild. No, he will sound like a cat. Careful the pitch up in wilds, both for Hunter and Palico. Extreme settings sounds very distorted. Yeah, I can imagine that if you set it all the way up. I had a friend who set his the pitch all the way down for the beta, and his character didn't sound human. Like it did not sound normal at all. If they ever bring back Olfatalis, I want a full tower to go along with him. That'd be cool. But the way that the maps are now, I don't think that they could do a full tower. I just... Because the maps have no loading screens, and so the tower would just feel very small. Even in Sunbreak, the tower was tiny in the distance. It didn't feel big at all. They made the moon bigger than the tower. Which that shouldn't be possible. Because the moon is the moon. Just make a big tower? Yeah. Have you seen Gold Rush? No, I've not seen Gold Rush. Sorry. I was very disappointed at the tower and Rise. The music was very mid. It was mid. But it feels like almost every time they try to remake a song, like a classic song, it always feels like they're not putting the full effort in? I don't know, it feels weird. Like there could be a lift sequence to showcase the height of the tower like an Elden Ring. I guess so, yeah. But then we would have a loading screen. Right? And I thought the whole point is we don't have loading screens. Even if it's like somehow seamless, like it would still technically be a point where you're just standing there and you're waiting. Right? Like you go into the little elevator, you hit the button, and then you're just sitting in the elevator for a little bit as the rest of the level chugs in. And how would that really work? Would they fake it? Would they just fake it? They could, I guess. Yeah, I guess they could fake it. Could you imagine trying to wire bug up the tower if it was to scale? It'd be huge. Which 5th gen Elder was the most difficult? Nergigante, Velkhana, Malzeno, or Primordial Malzeno? For me, it was Primordial Malzeno was probably the most difficult. But I think it's not fair to compare Primordial Malzeno to regular Nergigante or like I feel like Primordial Malzeno stacks closer to the Arc-tempered versions. between their regular versions, Malzeno for sure, but I think that just makes sense. Rise was a very demanding game, especially near the end. It really asked a lot from you in terms of your abilities and how much you abused the wire bugs. And I hated the constant counter gameplay. It felt like the monsters were trying to counter your counters, and I was like, I'm done. Just kind of, I just got bored of it, I don't know. Yeah, Malzeno was probably the toughest. I remember Arc-Tempered Nergigante being very difficult, but frankly, like, I haven't fought Arc-Tempered Nergigante with, like, the equipment that you had when that released in, like, a very, very, very long time, so who knows, right? And then I don't remember Arc-Tempered Velkhana at all. Like, I don't remember what it was like. That was also a long time ago. So the only one that's fresh in my memory is Malzeno, and I remember Primordial Malzeno being very difficult for me. We have no loading screens. In the year of our Lord 2025, we have corridors. Super long corridors. Which I don't like. Spike. I was hoping I would get another plate. That would be really funny if I got another plate. Wow, it's easy to get out of that pin. That was, like, no big deal at all. Arc-Tempered Nergigante and high rank armor. Yeah, I barely remember it. I think if you put them all side by side for me, and you're like, here, give it a shot, I could probably come up with, like, a better answer. They were all pretty difficult, though. Wrathy and Rathalos pins become less powerful if you cut their tails. Really? I didn't know that. That's a very small, subtle little thing. The transition between the locales and wilds are even more obviously corridors than the one between Windward Plains and Scarlet Forest. It's one of the only fears about the game. Yeah, I like, it's cool that they're, you know, corridors. Not corridors. I mean, it's cool that it's seamless. But at that point, you know, if it is just a corridor and not like a proper open world, then yeah, it's like, well, what's the point? Why not just give me a fast travel? I guess it is kind of neat that you don't have to go. You can just, like, walk from one map to the other if you're like... I guess it would be cooler if you're fighting a monster that traveled between the two different maps. That I think would make it worth it. Otherwise, as it stands, it's kind of just an interesting, unnecessary gimmick, I guess. It makes the world feel smaller. Also, aren't the pins' duration based on their states, like being the shortest during exhaust? I have to assume that the pins can be longer or shorter. But also, I think I might just be used to Monster 4's pins. The pins are pretty aggressive in 4, especially in the later ranks. Why is my cat meowing at me? Sometimes... Like, I don't... Ow! Okay, no, she's biting my leg. Okay, my cat just wants attention. That's all she wants. She's just sitting on the ground meowing at me. Oh no! Stop! 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 It's seamless, I'm guessing, for story, because you might move right through them during it, since even in the new dev interview they're saying that in the story they move back and forth in both locales. Yeah. It'd be cool if you, like, have to follow Arkveld through the different, locations. But... yeah, I'd like to be able to track monsters between different locales, and you fight them in one locale, and then they go to another locale, and you have to follow them. Lava Devil Joe is the final monster before Dire Morales. He's been stalking you throughout all of G rank, so it's incredibly satisfying to take him down. Yeah, it is, isn't it? I don't remember G rank very well in this game, because G rank is definitely the... in this game is the one that I have very little time spent in. Do you think the new octopus monster comes from a cephalopod class or a new mollusk class? I want to say that they're probably one and the same. There's probably just a new mollusk cephalopod class. It's definitely a new class of monster. And we'll probably see more, because they're not going to put all that effort into a new skeleton, only for there to be one monster with that new skeleton. That would be weird. It's typically not how they do things. Did third gen Barioth have a simple moveset compared to Iceborne Barioth? Third gen was weird. Third gen Barioth had like a bit of an identity crisis, because in base Monster Hunter Tri, Barioth had this thing where he moved more like Nargacuga. And then in Portable Third, Nargacuga was added to the game. So they had to make Barioth more unique, and so they gave him some different movesets. But they stripped back a lot of the Nargacuga attacks, so it was very odd and different. And then in 3 Ultimate, they changed it a little bit again. They tried to give him more, like, pouncing attacks, I guess. But he mostly just hip checks you. That's it. I want to say that Sunbreak is probably the best Barioth moveset. Probably the most interesting. Sunbreak Barioth was the first Barioth that, like, really gave me trouble. So, in a long time, since, like, Tri Barioth. Because Tri Barioth is nuts. It's crazy. Cephalopods are octopi, squid, mollusks are bat, and snails. So, like, I understand that, but I think that the team at Monster, I mean, not the team at Monster, I think that the in-universe classifications are probably going to be its own thing, because they never, ever match. I mean, like, frankly, oh, ran out of space. I don't need warm pelt. Because frankly, right? brute wyverns and like the dog wyverns really should be in the same group, should they not? Like, when I say the dog wyverns, I mean like Great Jaggy, Rogi. And I think that like technically they are in the same group, right? If you like check the books that feature the taxonomy, like the proper grouping. They never use the Nodurella skeleton again, from what I know. I think it's because it's too difficult. It's too difficult to use Nodurella's skeleton in other circumstances. Okay, I'm gonna pull up the taxonomy tree just to like 100% confirm this, right? So it's Monster Hunter taxonomy tree. I'm pretty sure brute wyverns. Brute wyverns and yeah, they're all in the same group. I'm looking at it here. So, all flying wyverns, brute wyverns, bird wyverns, and the dog wyverns, which are a subsect of the runner wyvern, which is a subsect of the bird wyvern. Actually, they're different. Runner wyvern is different. So it says here that there's bird wyvern, there's true bird, which is like Gargua, there's runner wyvern, which is Velociprey, then there's dog wyvern, which is Jaggy. But then there's a whole other group. Laranoth are also in the same group too. Laranoth are also related. So yeah, if they're all related. So like the classifications that the hunters use do not actually reflect. That's why saying cephalopod versus mollusk, it's irrelevant. It's so irrelevant. Like they're probably just gonna call them like squid wyverns or something, like something just asinine. Tentacle wyvern. Let's see if another monster spawned. Oh yeah, what is that a plesioth? A plesioth spawned. What guys, Plesioth. I do hope Plesioth gets a return someday, because he's probably he is my favorite Piscine wyvern. He's just really cute. Anyway, I was talking about it earlier with like Monster Hunter Wilds and like the expedition system, but this is what I love. This is the kind of Monster Hunter that I like, where you know you're just out on a trip, and who knows what'll show up, and then you hunt it and then you take the rewards. If you're on a free hunt, you can't deposit account items, right? Like that's something you cannot do in 3rd gen. Okay, I think my I think my 2 chakalakas are kind of useless because they keep dying. The one of them is barely even doing anything, and the other one just keeps throwing Felvine bombs. Oh boy. I want Puria, but with underwater moveset. He feels like he belongs in the water. Yeah, that'd be cool. Samtrios underwater too. I also would love to fight Diamo Hermitar underwater. That'd be neat. Speed's health is kind of small. Yeah, he's a little bit small. Into the water he goes. Let's sharpen while we're up here. Latch around, we're halfway through the fight, he floods the arena and the fight becomes underwater. That'd be kind of strange. So, do Piscine wyverns, do they breathe they breathe air, right? Like, do they have lungs or do they have gills? Like, how does that work? Oh, it's going out. They breathe air, right? Like, they're not technically fish? Why did he give me a health recovery? I don't think I even needed it. It's confirmed they have lungs. Okay. So they're just wyverns that happen to look like fish? Is that what it is? Or are they fish that happen to look like wyverns and also have lungs? Wouldn't they be closer to amphibians then? They're wyverns that look like fish. Okay. Please the alpha said to breathe through the skin like the frog. Okay. Okay, I understand that everything breathes air, alright? Don't need to give me that Reddit tier comment, or sorry. It's mean. I'm referring to if it's shorthand. When I say does it breathe air or does it breathe water? Like, obviously it's shorthand for whether or not it has gills or lungs. You're all wrong. They're wyverns that want to be F-tier fights. This isn't bad. Come on. Look at this. Isn't this fun? He's crazy. Attack boost. Nice. Okay, maybe my shakalakas aren't useless. Actually, it breathes oxygen. Fifth gen Piscine wyverns like Gyarados are truly F tier. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I really did not like Gyarados. I'm gonna be honest. And I didn't really like what they did with Flavasioth. But that doesn't change the fact that I really do still like Plesioth to this day. I love all iterations of Plesioth. I like the ones where he's, you can follow him underwater, and I like the ones where you can't follow him underwater. I think I don't like him in first gen, though. First gen Plesioth is kind of asinine. It's terrible. Second gen Plesioth is alright. I agree with your sentiment about Monster Hunter's phylogenetic tree. Like, yeah, like, obviously it's very different from ours, and the biggest difference is the fact that everything kind of descended from dragons instead of descending from... Like, basically we had a whole other group that existed in the Monster Hunter universe, that was like, that reigned supreme for a while, that was dragons, and then most of the other, I guess, vertebrate monsters tend to descend from dragons. As opposed to, like, descending from fish and amphibians. I don't think they'll bring back a single original monster from Horizon or Sunbreak because of their horror theming of yokai and western. Yeah. But I don't think any of them are coming back. I think that they just had a game. We're more likely to see world monsters return before Rise ones. The other thing too is, like, frankly, and this is just the truth, if they are going to bring back returners for the sake of bringing back returners, it's going to be the ones that are popular, and they tend to be flagships or elder dragons. That's how it is. That's how it's always been. There are more people that would want something like Zynogar, for example, than there are people that want, like, Bishatton. But also, there's also more people that want, like, Anjanath and Diablos, or Odogaron. And that's just because there's more World fans, and everyone who played World fought all those monsters. I'm sure there's actually people who love Legiana, despite it actually not being, in general, a beloved fight. I think a lot of people who played Monster Hunter World, a lot of them are like, yeah, I'm vibe with Legiana. Let's have Legiana in Wilds. That's what they say. And it happens. I am officially out of potions. But it's okay because we've got infinite feints in expedition mode. Gotta be real here. Gravios gets way too much hate. Oh, absolutely. I'm a big Gravios guy. I really like Gravios. I think he's an important monster. I think that Monster Hunter has gotten really obsessed with having like fast, flashy monsters that use their arms as attacks, for attacks. And they forget that sometimes just a really, really big, intimidating thing that mostly attacks with just its like body or a very powerful elemental attack is just a good symbol and a good like I guess like metaphorical fight. It kind of shows your progress as a hunter. When every single monster is just like flashy, fast monster that uses its arms and wings to beat you up, I don't know. They start to blur together. I like having monsters that are just these big, like you almost feel like you can't tell if it's thinking or not. Plesioth is one of them. It's like, I look into its soulless, deadless eyes. Deadless? Soulless eyes. And it's like, what is it thinking? And it's got like limbs that are only designed for swimming. That's it. It doesn't even really use its fins for attack. I find that cool. I think that that's cool. It feels like an animal and not like a... not like, I don't know, like an anime villain. Maybe that's why I like Kieran so much. A lot of my favorite monsters don't actually use their arms in attacks as much as they use other parts of their body. Garen Golem is gross. Yeah, Garen Golem is gross. Gotta go. Good stream. Thanks, Fatalis and friends. I wonder who the friends are. Gravios is a well-designed creature, but I hope they fix his fight. The only cool arm monster is Gosharog. I liked Gore Magala. Gore Magala was cool. I liked how he used his arms. It was interesting. It definitely comes off as an anime villain, though. Thinking about it, Lunagarn uses arms, and I actually don't mind it. Garen Golem is just a little big guy. He's a bit goofy. I don't know. I don't like him. I don't know. To me, like monsters are almost always like I can tell from the first time I see them whether or not I'm gonna like them. And it's, without fail, it's almost always that way. Why does Old Fatalis have Kieran powers? Are they biologically related? No, I don't think they're biologically related. I don't even think Old Fatalis technically has Kieran powers. I think that it just happens to be able to summon... Not summon. It manipulates dragon element to create lightning strikes. That's jellyfish. Cool. Yeah, all it does is it just uses dragon to... the dragon element or dragon power to summon lightning strikes that resemble that of a traditional electric-based lightning strike. but it is actually dragon power. Right? Honestly, with a lot of these things, I don't think even the people designing the monsters really put a lot of like hard canon. It's kind of just like left vague. And then you have to like read a book that they published years later. There we go. Plesioth dead. Do you like Almudron, Jacob? I think it's one of the coolest rise designs. I'm gonna say right now, if you want to know if I like a monster or not, you can tell by whether or not I built it out of Lego. Wyvern stone. Do I need a screamer? Sometimes they're useful, right? Oh, well, those are account items. Ooh, I could just get more whetstones. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. Let's return. Do I lose out on points if I... No, I'll just return to village. Just realized Wilds is like 2 months away. I know, it's crazy. I can't wait. I can't wait. I guess to answer your question, Almudron is alright. I don't know. I don't really feel this or that way about him. Village requests. Oh, I need like lots of resource points. Alright. Hunt report. Nice. What did I get? What is this? Giant skull. So I didn't get anything good. Cool. Wyvern gold. Sure. Generate resources. So I can use these to make resources, right? Lava nugget. I only got 5. It makes so much though. Broken shell. It's worth nothing. Got coins. Fire cell stone. This is crazy. You basically have to do lava nuggets. But I don't want to use them. Okay, let's make this mask. I need Nibble Snarf Hide Plus. What are they doing? Do you see them? in the top right corner. They're like they're crashing out up there. Oh, there they go. Vitalis is a squid confirmed. Anyway, it has fur like Kieran. He has armor hardening like Kieran. He attacks like Kieran with lightning strikes. Maybe it's just homage to Kieran being the first Ella Dragon? The only problem with that, right, is that Crimson Fatalis also had armor hardening. His armor also hardened as the fight went on. So that was just a carryover from Crimson Fatalis. As for the fur, I mean, come on. Barioth also has fur. Is that a reference? Is that an homage? No, I think it's just coincidence that they both have like white fur. Now, I should probably get myself some better armor, right? I need some better armor. Vangus? When did I hunt a Devil Joe? Nargacuga. Rathalos. I need a ruby. Oh, I don't like the Rathalos armor in this game. For the girl character. It does give me attack up though, and that's what I'm kind of looking for. Baroth. as attack up. Rathalos. Attack plus 5. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Wyverns was modeled after Santa Claus. Yes, yes, of course. It all makes sense. Nice. Okay. Nope. I want a forge armor. Oh, I can also make these. Attack plus 2. Skills. I still get attack up large. Yeah, let's do it. Why not? There we go. It's a bit of a weird armor set, but we'll make it work. Okay. Honest question for the few of you who are here, because typically those that catch the streams, you're the real ones, right? You're the bread and butter. You're the ones that mean the most to me. And your opinions are so valuable to me. If I streamed Monster Hunter Wilds on launch, how many of you would actually watch? And you have to be honest with me, all right? How many of you would actually watch? Because I have the understanding that most of you would not actually watch, because either you'd be watching other YouTubers or you'd just be playing the game with your friends and then you don't want to watch. So I ask for, I guess, just to see the room, feel the room here. What are people feeling? Because I don't want to waste my time, right? Because if you stream and you stream to a low audience turnout, like even as low as 30 people, it has a bad effect on your algorithm. So that's why I gotta ask. I'd be playing it. Exactly. I would not spoiler reasons. I'm gonna be playing it, probably. Traversal wouldn't watch, and you would enjoy it solo. Yeah. VOD to go. I could see it working as a VOD to go. You know, you listen to it at work or while you're doing something else. But I feel like if I even upload a VOD, it might negatively affect my channel. So that's why I'm leaning towards avoiding it. I think I might. I think I'm gonna just do it myself, play it on my own, leave it at that. I mean, I would be an exam season, so maybe I'll have you in the background. How many people are here anyway? But yeah, I'd play it. Maybe background your stream while I'm playing it. I'm Monster Hunter hyperfan, so I'll be playing immediately at launch. Exactly. I think that honestly is a... Like, I don't think it's a good idea for really anyone to be streaming it while the game comes out, because everyone's just going to be playing it. I know that a lot of Monster Hunter fans... Not Monster fans, Monster Hunter content creators like to stream the game when it comes out, but I just feel like it would honestly just be bad for your algorithm, right? Unless you were big enough to sort of like if you are big enough, then I guess it could work, but someone like me, I just don't think it would work. If I was a variety gamer, right? Like if I played a bunch of other stuff and there was a bunch of people watching that weren't Monster Hunter fans, then I could see them. I could see a difference there. Durambros, Urgan. These suck. Barioth? Nibblesnarf? Diablos? Gotta go, have fun. Oh, thank you for stopping by, though. And you have a great rest of your day or night. Thank you. Is this the Wilds room? I need the game so bad. I'm thinking about it daily. Yeah, this is the room that we're waiting. This is the wait room for Monster Hunter Wilds. This is where we're coping. We're like, please, just release now. What does everyone think we'll see in the trailer Thursday? We're gonna see a couple monsters that some people already have a pretty good idea of what they are. And we're also probably gonna get another beta announcement. We'll probably be able to play more of the beta, and there will be more monsters in the beta. Probably. So, begging for a demo announcement so I can play the game non-stop until release. That's not happening. No, they don't want to do that. They want to do the beta. How do I do Diablos or Barioth? Next beta is probably going to be December. I think it'll be December. Guess I could do Diablos. I heard an interview somewhere where they said not to expect a beta anytime soon. Okay, if that's the case, then yeah, I guess we're not getting anything. Then it'll probably just be a trailer. It'll probably show off the ice map. There'll probably be some monster reveals. We'll probably see a little bit more of some of the other maps. I did not bring raw meat, so this is gonna be bad. I also didn't bring sonic bombs. This is gonna be really bad. Algorithms are confusing. It's really bad. And I think it's just YouTube that's really bad, because I can go AWOL on TikTok, and the moment I come back to TikTok with a new video, I get even more views. So it's totally fine. It comes down to whether or not your content is advertiser friendly. And also if it retains viewership for long stretches. My videos on this channel tend to only do well within like the first week of release, and that's it. Except for a couple. And I'm trying to aim more towards videos that will have longer lasting, I guess, appeal. And I've been holding off on preparing some of those videos. Where is Diablos? What's happening? I've been oh, wait a minute. I can just signal. Duh. Oh, what's he doing down there? I've been holding off on preparing those videos. Is he actually over here? Yeah, I think so. Because I'm worried that it'll interfere with potential wilds. I guess, like, views. So. People always make the mistake of comparing world patterns to wilds. These companies also grow and learn to change things. Okay, so I understand that. Like, yeah, obviously they do grow. If we don't know what to expect, I think we're allowed to make critical assumptions based on what we've already seen, what trajectory we've already seen from them. I think it's pretty safe to make the critical assumption that they will probably do the same thing they did with World because they want to capitalize on the same success that World had. Is that crazy? I don't think that's crazy. But also, if we have nothing to go off of and all we have is their past behavior, we tend to assume that behavior will be repeated. And that just goes for anything, right? That just goes for humans in general. So until they prove us wrong, everyone is going to assume that they're just going to repeat themselves. And Monster Hunter is about a lot of repeating too. There's a lot of choices that they've made that is just repeating. Okay, this guy is dealing lots of damage to me. Like, I think it would be weird to compare the marketing for Wilds to, say, like, Monster Hunter 2. Like, that would be weird. But if it was, like, the last mainline game, then obviously, yeah, people are going to look at that and be like, they're probably going to do something similar to this. Until they don't. Wow, that horn just snapped like right off like a twig. I didn't bring whetstones. Where can you get whetstones? In this map. I don't remember. You can get them in the map, right? Is it this area? You get whetstones here? Maybe it's this area. What's the monster you think they would bring back for the ice map? I'm not gonna answer that. Unfortunately, we're past the days of speculation. I have a personal answer, but I can't say what it is. Okay. I might be fresh out of luck. Unless, are they in the... Wrong way. Okay, I'm gonna quickly Google it because otherwise, this sandy plains Whetstones. They literally all they say is just abandon. Like, abandon quest. Okay, cool. Well, let me check. Let me check one more time. Okay, Sunny Plains. It's all mining. Yeah, there's no gathering. You can only get it from mining. Cool. Okay. Aren't we glad restocking a camp is a thing in the new Gen Mod Center? I am very glad. I hate this. I really don't like this. This is so much worse for me. Because it's such a little thing that I missed. It's because I didn't have any in my box. If I saw it there, I would have been like, oh yeah. Let's put some in my box. How many potions are in there? Is that another 99? Oh. Fanged wyverns. Rakidios. Flying wyverns. I should also bring trank bombs. And also raw meat. That's another one that I cannot forget. There we go. Did anyone see the option to abandon quests? I saw the option of returning from quests and wilds. I never saw it. I never looked for it. If they did remove abandoned quests, like if they remove abandoned quests, I think that's honestly fine. I'm gonna be honest. I think that it's something that it worked better. It exists better in the older games. I don't think it is really necessary for a current game if they did remove it. Or at least a game like Wilds is like, what's the point, right? Like, it would just confuse people. Like, people would just end up getting confused. Already having both Return from Quest and Abandon Quest probably confuses some people, because they sound the same. Okay. Let's double check this time. Alright, we got a trap, trank bombs, whetstones. Okay. We're not messing up this time. Oops. Oops. Wow, I cannot do this. There we go. Okay. Yep. Leave me alone. Oh, okay, I can't do anything right. I also forgot Sonic Bombs, I just realized. Whatever. Right, he doesn't roar. What am I doing? Okay, you can guard that. You could in second gen. Is he already mad? No, he's not. Okay. What's your thoughts on Dishagama? I like Dishagama. I like all the new monsters. I've been pretty happy with the selection. I have to fight Rompopolo. I don't like the design for Rompopolo. But maybe he'll turn around in the fight for me. But I don't know. I was looking at the fight and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be those ones that people are gonna say is annoying because of all the oil. I can't miss out on those quality fins. I think people want Raid Out to be a bit harder, but I actually, it's pretty okay if Raid Out's difficulty. I think he's quite aggressive. He's aggressive enough for my playstyle, but I'm sure that players that want more difficulty, they're gonna get it by the end of the game. I'm sure that there's gonna be some kind of end game system that will make all the monsters much harder. I actually dislike a Jarakan the most. He looks way too much like a Rise monster. He does kind of look like a Rise monster, doesn't he? I picked up on like big Journey to the West vibe from him though. There seems to be a lot of the monkeys. There's always like sort of an Eastern influence from the monkeys. Just cool. It's fine. I want to carve these. Don't disappear. Quality fin. Capcom are really trying to go in on the endgame system this time due to the complaints with difficulty in 5th gen. Probably. Yeah, I think more monsters should be in herds, because all the monsters that are in herds are definitely more intimidating. Every time that there's a monster where you're fighting more than one of them at the same time, it's crazy, and it's a lot of fun. I once had to fight a Dishagama, and there was like 5 Dishagama all at once. And I was like, this is nuts. I think I once saw like 7 or 8 monsters on the map at the same time. I was really impressed. And I think it's because the monster spawns are not actually tied to like a limit on the maps, like, oh, it has to have a certain amount. It's actually tied to like the quests themselves. So if you have like a quest of Dishagama plus a quest of the Dishagama Alpha, then you're gonna get like even more Dishagamas on the quest than normal. And if you have a quest that has a double monster, then it'll spawn both on top of everything else. So then that's why you end up getting like a whole bunch of monsters on the map all at once, which It's just so cool. That's what I've always wanted. Tempered Frenzy, Hyper Afflicted. I liked Frenzy, but it's so tied to Gormagala. I'd only want it if Gormagala's there. Tempered is probably the best all-rounder. Frankly, like, I don't think it should even be like difficult. It should just be like, oh, high rank monsters are just extremely difficult, and leave it at that. Make them just hit really hard. Oh, my sharpness dropped again. Well, this time I brought whetstones. Yeah, the monsters aren't going to run away as fast as they do in the beta. They confirmed that was a glitch in the older build of the game. It has been fixed, which is nice. That being said, I wasn't technically super peeved by it. Like, it never actually really bothered me. I was okay with chasing after the monsters. But it is good that they've acknowledged it as an issue. And hoping dung pods won't work on herds in high rank. That's not gonna happen. They're definitely gonna work. If you don't want to use dung pods, you just don't use them. That's what I did. I just never used them. I never separated the groups. The game is pretty balanced. Well, even if you're fighting like 4 of them at once, especially if you're in a group yourself with like other hunters, it's not so bad at all. I'm just hoping that, like, yeah, we'll be able to fight like tons of Yankaku at the same time. That will be fun. I need to heal. What am I doing? Next trailer drop is the 12th. Next trailer drop is probably going to be Game Awards, yeah. It would be foolish not to advertise it at the biggest thing. As with it being one of the most anticipated games for next year, it's absolutely happening. It's been 1 year since the game was announced and shocked the world. I can't believe within like 1 year we've already like gotten a beta and stuff. Like that's crazy to me. Capcom's turnaround is nuts. Oh man, I'm sorry, the Dazzling Ape. If the music for Wilds isn't already doing it for you, then I think you're just barking up the wrong tree. I don't think the music will do it for you at all. Like, you're not gonna get what you're looking for. If you want my opinion on the music, I think it's great. It's really, really beautiful. Like they've really gone out of their way to... The music reminds me a lot of like the first couple generations. Like it feels very Monster Hunter 2. If that makes any sense? Like there's lots of Monster Hunter 2 vibes. I just sharpened my weapon. What am I doing? The moment I get whetstones back, I'm just going crazy. I guess blue sharpness does go hard. Let's cut that tail. Is that a spoiler? Well, it was in the beta, so if it was in the beta, if you consider a beta a spoil, then yeah, it would be a spoiler. But if it was in the beta, I don't know what you mean. If you're someone that avoids trailers, then I don't even know why you're even doing here, because we're going to be talking about stuff in this stream. I think we've already have been. Love how these huge areas of sunny plains convey to the player that they'll eventually be hunting monsters that require that much space. Yeah, no, it's cool. Holy, wow, okay. I just tune out when it feels too new, but yeah, some of the stuff I've already seen because thumbnails very eye-catching. Yeah, the new village theme, I was playing a bit of it at the very start of the stream. And I will probably end the stream playing one of the songs. It's very diegetic. It's very diegetic music. Like you can it doesn't sound like it was an orchestrated song. It's, whoa, he targeted me there. It sounds like a, like it's being performed by the villagers themselves. Like the villagers themselves are bringing out their own instruments and performing it. And that is a really genuinely great feeling. That's the kind of Monster Hunter aesthetic that I really go to Monster Hunter for. That's the kind of aesthetic I go to Monster Hunter for, is this really lived-in feeling to the world. I felt that Monster Hunter World and Rise felt too cinematic with the way that they presented their different aesthetics. Like, it felt too clean and organized. What I like about Wilds is the almost broken nature of everything, and like the unkept, or not really unkept, but I guess just maybe gritty is the right word. Lived in. It feels lived in. World and Rise were just too cinematic. I did not really vibe with the music of World. It felt like I had a Hollywood orchestra playing the entire time, and it's like, I don't know. Monster Hunter, I feel, is not about having bombastic music, it's about having music that feels like it organically actually comes from the world. Like, I like to feel like I'm in a foreign land. And Wilds, I do genuinely feel like it's a foreign land. And again, like, I think what I really like about the music in Wilds is there is, like, a bit of, like, a sadness to it, too. It almost feels, kind of cold. This Diablos is, like, messing me up. So the NPCs do mutter in the Monster Hunter language. I'm reading that in the chat there. They do. They've talked about it. They said that they will not offer the Monster Hunter language as an option. However, the NPCs, when they're just in the village, they will talk to each other in the Monster Hunter language so that they don't have to translate those specific mutterings for all the different languages. But the game is meant to be played in your native tongue so that you understand the emotional beats of the story. Because definitely it is intended to have emotional beats with characters going through different arcs and stuff. I mean, Nada himself is definitely going through an arc of some kind, where he has to kind of like learn to like let go and understand that the monster that maybe destroyed his village isn't a monster per se. Like, it isn't a vessel of evil. Even though he's burning with like vengeance. That wasn't so bad. That wasn't so bad at all. An arc Veld. I didn't play the beta, but from what I've heard, they've downgraded from Sunbreak. Sword and Shield? I don't know. I played a bit of Sword and Shield and Wilds, and I liked it. I thought it was fine. I thought it was too complicated in Rise, but I felt every weapon was too complicated in Rise, so... Ridge, Marrow, Horn, Majestic Horn, and a Twisted Horn. What's this one? Twisted Horn. Okay. Well, we got one Majestic Horn. Any of these any good? Alright, Water Resistance, Transporter. Ice Attack. You know, Ice Attack level 7 is not bad. We're gonna take that one. I didn't enjoy Rise's take on most weapons too. Sword and Shield is one of the weapons they stated they'll be making big changes to before release. Cool! Okay, well, I'm interested to see that go down. Ooh, what did my cats give me? They are not cats. They are chakalakas. Hey, I got a Shell Shocker. Kayamba, what do you get me? Diablo's Carapace. Plesioth Fang. They both got me Plesioth stuff, which is pretty great. He also gave me a Mega Potion somehow. Something I ought to tell you. I was making my usual rounds of Moga Villas unless I spotted a Diablos. What is the Diablos doing here? This seems a little bit, out of place. People actually grind for talismans. I was playing GU and I couldn't believe people would waste their time with that. Yep. No, we do. We do waste our time. In some games. In some games, I waste my times. In other games where save editors exist, I don't waste my time. I actually don't think that... Like, I personally... legitimately don't like... I like getting RNG drops for items. Any form of RNG equipment, I'm not a big fan of. I don't want decorations. I don't want talismans. I don't even want those in the game to begin with, frankly. I just like cool weapon moveset. I like having some skills tied to armor, some skills tied to weapons. And we leave it at that. You can only choose one. You choose the weapon that has the skill that you like. Or you choose the armor that has the skill that you like. You can only choose 1 to 2 to 3, maybe 4 if you're lucky. And that's it. We keep it at that. I don't like having to min-max. It's annoying. I hate it. I've never liked it. Look. I have to forfeit my... In order to do anything good, I have to get myself attack up large. Otherwise, I'm basically just going to give myself a hard time. That's all I do. That's all you have to do. This is why I don't want to attack up at all. But that's, I guess, a hot take. In real life advice, you can learn baking bread in 1 day. It's super easy, okay? After that, you unlock pizza making. Better, faster, and cheaper than buying pizza. Are we talking about, like, in real life? What is happening? You're like, in real life, level up system? I didn't waste my time with talismans or curious crafting RNG and Sunbreak. Me neither. Hope randomness on armor doesn't... Well, actually, I didn't even, like, partake in the... I did not even partake in that stuff. I stopped playing the game once I got to, let's do Barryoth. No, I just talked to you. Whatever. Yeah, once I once I beat the final boss, Gasmagor, I didn't even do the afflicted stuff. I don't know. The gameplay loop in Rise, I fell off pretty hard. I don't know. Just wasn't feeling it. There we go. I got it that time. Here's Barryoth. Hello. Curious crafting was really... Sorry, there was a lot of stuff here. I don't see the point in min-maxing for a co-op game. Maybe for speedrunning, but I'll never become that much of an autist. Same. Me too. Curious crafting was really off-putting. It was suffocating grind and it had no determined endpoint. Oh, exactly. Like, I didn't even really know what I was ever even, like, grinding for. Like, I didn't... I was like, what's my end goal? It's like you could end up losing what you wanted on your armor. The actual mechanic behind it worked way better when you chose what you wanted within the bounds set by the system points, which is what mods did. Which, like I mentioned, is very similar to how weapon curious crafting works, which I want them to do for armor. Lane Portable Third miss swimming combat, but also don't. Underwater areas and monsters affords such cool aesthetics. Aesthetically, and for like immersion reasons, yeah, it's a great experience. It's a good set piece. But underwater combat in gameplay and practice has trouble, of course. I wish Tigrex was in this game. I just wish, like, Boldrum was in this game. And a Cantor and a Matsu. Like, I get it that, like, there has to be reasons to play Portable Third. So they can't just put them all in. But, like, man. Let's try to get rid of that Ice Blight. I was like, I want to get rid of the Ice Blight, but only one... I rolled once and it was gone. It would be cool to fight like an ice monster underwater. Because we got to fight like a thunder monster underwater. Cedius used dragon. Diamoralis used fire. And obviously they all used water. But having Wait, ice, yes. I was like, wait, which one have I not mentioned? Yeah. There was an ice monster underwater. That would be cool. That'd be new and interesting. He's kind of wombo comboing me right now. Like Zamtrios. Somehow Zamtrios wasn't Rise because Zamites. Okay, I really need to get rid of this Ice Blight. There we go, gone. I think last time I oh goodness, she just fell off. Last time I streamed, I was fighting Zamtrios, and we started talking about inflation. That was crazy. I think Zamtrios is a goofy monster. I don't really take it that seriously. Like, I don't really view it much as like a terrifying shark monster as much as I view Plesioth as a terrifying shark monster. Plesioth has that unfeeling, soulless eyes that I was talking about earlier, but Zamtrios is kind of just a goofy guy. Like, he tries so hard to be edgy and cool with his ice armor, and then once that doesn't work, he's like, oh, screw it, okay, I'm just gonna blow myself up like a balloon. And then he's just goofy. I want bitter bug nests where you get absolutely bug bitten to death like a horde. Like it's an actual real threat when it appears. Maybe even randomize the nests underground, making them barely detectable. Well, I don't know if you, oh, you were the one that doesn't want to be spoiled. Okay, well, there was something that was in the beta, and as well as in the different trailers. But we are getting something similar to that in Wilds. There's like a hornet monster, not a monster. It's like a hornet endemic life that just goes nuts on you. There's like tons of them. I don't know what they're called though. It's not like a full monster. It's definitely just an endemic life. Sleepy. No Cha-Cha hit me. Thank you. Bees. Nope, not listening. And again, I don't consider it a spoiler, because... Cool. You know what? I'm just gonna leave the area. I'm just gonna spin around. There we are. Rare steak. This things with arachnophobia mode on is a little saucy. Yep. Did you hear that they, arachnophobia mode only refers to small monsters. It does not affect large spider monsters. Like, Lalabrina will not be affected, by the arachnophobia mode. So then, what was the point? What was the point? Kind of redundant. Exactly. Monster goes out of its way too to try and make its bug monsters kind of like cool in a and cartoony, so that they're not super realistic. Like, they do that on purpose so that, you know, you're not disturbed by the creatures. Because if they just added, like, realistic spiders, like, then yeah, obviously it would feel like, ooh, this is scary. But they always give them 4 legs. They usually give them something cute or alien on them that makes them just not quite look like an actual spider or a bug. Like, Celtis Queen does not look like a bug. Like any actual bug that exists. Like, I would argue that it looks more like a crab. Maybe a little bit of scorpion, but it definitely doesn't feel like a real shelled beetle of any kind. It's also funny, there's like a science to this, I think. People tend to be more afraid of insects and spiders than we are afraid of crustaceans. Like, most people can handle looking at a crustacean, but they cannot, or even holding a crustacean, but they cannot handle holding other invertebrates of multiple legs. It's interesting, right? Like, we don't, there's no, like, there's arachnophobia, right? And also, sort of like used as a blanket term, because people who have arachnophobia typically are also afraid of other invertebrates of multiple legs. But crabs are, like, never part of that group. No one's afraid of crabs. They think crabs are just funny guys. Oliverina doesn't twitch when she dies. Is that, would you call that a spoiler? I'd love to have creepier bug monsters. Nausicaa, anyone? Yeah, me too. They had the beetles in the shell. Not beetles. They're like horseshoe crabs. They had the horseshoe crab monsters in the Rotten Vale that had the eyes like the ones in Nausicaa. And I thought that was so cool. And it's like, just, you know, blow one of those up, make it like a big monster. And it doesn't even need to be like it doesn't need to be like a large monster. It could be considered like a, you know, a small monster, like the equivalent of like an herbivore. Like, there's just a whole bunch of them and you can kind of like hit them, and it'd be cool. Barioth was much easier than Diablos. Crab school, spiders trigger my fight or flight. I agree, it's kind of weird though. A crab is basically a spider. The thought of touching a spider makes me want to faint. Why do people hate spiders when roaches exist and they're a million times worse? I play GU and I hate every bug besides Ataka. Celtis Queen spends half the fight as a complete joke. Nersilla just spams status effects and has needless armor mechanic. Haven't fought Raknikadaki. Giant bug endemic life would be so cool. Core Highlands had some prehistoric Cambrian-esque critters. It did. Yeah, I don't know. It is interesting. People are very afraid of spiders when spiders are actually super beneficial for the ecosystem. The old place I was living, I moved recently. The old place I was living, I had lots of spiders coming in. It was an older basement suite I was living in. I'm living in a very new basement suite now, but the spiders, there were so many spiders. It just never ended. There's so many spiders every single day. It was like, okay, so the spiders would fight each other. And I wouldn't orchestrate these fights, alright? This isn't like Ratatosker, who makes bugs fight each other and gets amusement out of seeing them kill each other, which is, like, weird. No, these fights were happening on their own, right? The other bugs that came into the house, they all died to the spiders, naturally. The spiders were, you know, they are pest control. They are a form of pest control, even if they are pests themselves. But I had, like, new spiders coming into the house every single day, and they would fight each other. I equated it to, like, it was like a spider battle royale. It was like, my house was Spider Fortnite, and I was the storm. Because I was the one that would, like, I'd pick them up and I'd take them outside. I'd be like, no, get out of my house. But sometimes the really big wolf spiders would come in, and those actually do trigger my fight or flight. Once they get, like, too big, that's when I start getting freaked out. Illegal spider fights. Sounds like a Ratatosker thing to do. And that Spider-Man meme going on in your house. Yeah, no, literally. They all were, like, pointing at each other. Like, I had this one spider in the corner. I couldn't get at it. I'm assuming it was a girl. Because, I think at one point... I don't know, it looked like a girl spider. You know, they have a certain look to them. But, she was in the corner of my bathroom. In a place, like... It was, like, in, like, this alcove. There was, like, a window I couldn't reach. And every other day, she would have another spider just, like, in her grasp, just eating it. And I'm like, whoa, okay. Yeah, the bathroom was the worst. There was a new spider in there every single day. My house was Spider Fortnite, and I was the star. And again, I wouldn't kill them, alright? I would do my best not to kill them. I would move them outside, where they would be eaten by birds. So I killed them. That's the funny thing. So the reason why, right? The reason why spiders go into your house is because it's warm, and also because they can evade being eaten by other predators, like birds. Never kill big spiders. It means they are strong and good hunters, getting rid of the worst small bugs. This is how I am, right? This is how I be. I don't think any creature deserves death, right? But if a creature attacks me, I will fight back in self-defense. I will not advocate for the death of mosquitoes. If a mosquito bites me, I believe I have the right to fight back. Right? Am I wrong? It attacked me. You know, what if it was carrying a virus? You know, if it's trying to kill me, I should be allowed to have self-defense. That doesn't mean that I advocate for the death of them all. And so for most creatures, right? If they're not attacking me, I don't attack them. That's how I be. But sometimes you have to, as the alpha predator of this planet, you have to assert your dominance, right? Yeah, taking spiders outside will result in either in their death or they just get back in. Literally. I actually really like the spider monsters in Monster Hunter. And by I like the spider monsters, I mean on average I like the spider monsters. Nerscylla is definitely up there. One of my favorite bug monsters. Lalabarina is even higher. Lalabarina has become a new favorite of mine immediately. I love that design. I love the name too. And I love the armor. I think Lalabarina is fantastic. Beautiful creature. I did not like Arachnophobia. I thought I was going to like it. And maybe, but the design didn't fully sell me on it. And I was like, okay, well maybe when I fight it, it'll be okay. And I did not enjoy the fight. Arachnophobia I found to be even worse. I like color swap subspecies like that, where there isn't a huge difference in their abilities. Like, it goes from a fire monster to a fire and blast monster. Like, that's cool. I like that. But ultimately, it still wasn't enough. Alright, what are we doing next? Nibble, Snarf, Ignactor. Do you know which ones of these I have to do? Labyrinth time. Do I have to do Duramboros? I guess I could do Duramboros. Have you seen the Uth-Duna armor? I'm not totally sold on the Uth-Duna armor. It doesn't quite do it for me, I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, no, the reason why the spiders only have most bugs only have 4 legs in Monster Hunter in general is for 2 reasons. The main reason is it's easier to animate. It's way easier to work with. Less legs means less animation. Number 2, it makes it look less like an actual bug and more like a fantasy creature, which makes people less afraid of them, so that they don't complain, they don't stop playing the game. Because the last thing you want is for a player to stop playing the game because a bug is too scary. Like, that's silly, right? Alright, we will do another quest. I have to really quickly use the washroom. We're gonna do Duramboros. Should we do the Twin Peaks? That'd be fun, right? So, I'll be back in like 2 seconds. Be really, really quick. Apologies, I am back. Let's go on the quest. I love Lala's look, and the armor is incredible. Love the style of dress. I'll be adorning it my entire playthrough. I think it's great. As it stands, and this is how I am in every single Monster Hunter game. If the Kieran armor is in the game, I wear the Kieran armor. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's male or female character. I usually like to put on the Kieran armor on my male character too. But until we get either a confirmation that Kieran's in the game, or it comes in like a title update, or maybe the armor is just in the game anyway. Why am I'm doing this because I was hoping to get a mount, but I realized you cannot mount in this game. But Lalabrina's armor is pretty great, so I want to kind of do like a bit of a mix set with it. I feel like I could do something really pretty. The equipment looks nice. It looks like, it feels like Arachnophobia, but better. Nice! Oh, that was satisfying. So I hope that Neopaterans, I can never say that one right. I usually just say bugs. Snake wyverns and Carpacians get at least one new monster. And it's late. I'm gonna go see. I hope you have a good rest of your time. Thank you. You hope you have a great rest of your night too. I appreciate everyone for being here. Turnout was pretty low, but that's okay. I gotta stop obsessing over the numbers, but... I still appreciate everyone for being here. If Kieran is in the game, then yeah, we will have male and female armor interchangeability of the weapon, with the armor. What am I saying? Weapons. Which would be neat. They have to put it in the game. The Kieran armor is one of the most popular armor sets. It was weird that it wasn't in Rise. Really weird. It's also weird that like even Odogaron wasn't in Rise. That's another like super popular armor set and monster. I kind of miss the first and second gen armor design. It was more medieval plate armor of scales bone caveman elements rather than the Henshin hero costume armor. I agree. I do agree, and I think that's why, I'll be honest, I tend to just not be into almost any of the new armor sets. Very, very rarely am I ever actually into the new armor sets. I like the Kieran armor a lot. I think that the Kieran armor goes up there alongside things like the old hunter gear. Like the original like hunter armor. Oh, there's the other one. Where I think it's very Monster Hunter. It feels like it was made from the materials of many monsters. Because the Kieran armor is made from materials of many monsters. It's made from the Kezu, Gypceros, and the Kieran. And you can see those different body, like the different aspects of the different armor, monsters in the armor. The different textures and whatnot. And I kind of miss that in Monster Hunter, where it did genuinely feel like it was just scrapped together chunks of the This is nuts. No. Oh my goodness. Glad Wilds is bringing back the old designs. World had the worst designs ever. For armor or for weapons? Because I know everyone complains about the weapons in World. Everyone complains about the weapons in World. Many of the armors were pretty good, but... Yeah, I'm definitely an old... Like, I'm a Gen 1er when it comes to the armor designs. I do feel like they peaked with armor sets in first, second gen. Third gen is okay. But... Fourth gen feels way too... It's too stylish. I don't know, it's too stylish. It doesn't feel lived in. It feels... Armor in Wilds is looking very good. I'm vibing with that new Kongalala, the new version of Kongalala armor. I hope that the Kaku armor is also interesting and new. Yeah, I love the original Hunter armor from MH1. Like they have it figured out there. It's all utility, and I think that's what makes it look so great. Every element of it is utility. No! Leave me alone! Your thoughts on Kaku's insta-charge? Oh yeah, people were talking about that on Twitter. I don't care. I'm so used to insta-charge, and frankly, with how easy some of the monsters have been getting, like, yeah, make them stupid. Make them, like, have, like, bullshit attacks. I don't care. In fact, I prefer that. And it's Kaku. Come on. He always kind of did that. I guess ultimately I don't care this or that way. Like, if they got rid of it, fine. If they kept it, I mean, if they bring back instant charges, cool. Like, I don't. I just stopped dwelling on a lot of this nonsense. Like, it just doesn't bother me anymore. I don't know. So much discourse. I need to build Durambros. He would be fun to build. Just sucks there that they're releasing all these wild monsters right now, all the wilds monsters, because that's what I want to build. I'm actually working on a new build for Rompopolo, even though I'm not totally into that design. I feel like it would be a fun challenge to build out of Lego, so I'm prioritizing that. Jacob has found peace. I'm on the same page. Yeah. Do you like the first gen Guild Knight set in Wilds, the pre-order bonus? Well, it's all right. I got the super premium deluxe pre-order version of Monster Wilds, so whatever free stuff they throw at me, cool. And I'm getting, I think it comes with like a season pass or something. I don't know. Looks all right. I've never really been into the like the Guild Knight sets anyway, so it's cool. Insta charges are good game design, and nothing can change my mind. It stops you from standing in front of monsters like a dummy. I don't know. I just feel like me as a human being, right? If I'm standing there, I can go to. I feel like I can physically instant charge, and if I can physically instant charge, then I feel like a monster can too. I think if the hunter can instant charge, then the monster should be able to as well. The new Guild Knight set is good, but the old one let you cosplay Moga Sweetheart, and that's gone. Yeah, the old female sets were always the guild lady, but I don't even think there even is guild ladies in this game. Technically, Alma is a guild lady, just not in the classic sense. Oh, he's eating! I didn't know he was eating. I should have been attacking him. This is nuts. I heard Alma's gonna be falling around 100% of the time. Is that optional? No, it's not optional. People complained that the handler didn't do enough, and they're like, it was never we, handler. It was never we. You weren't involved, even though she was. And so now they're like, all right, well now we're gonna make the handler involved. And now there's people like, well, I don't want the handler. I don't want the handler involved. It's like, no, that's how it's gonna be. She's not optional. You have to deal with it. You're gonna have a teammate following you around. That's just how it is. She tends to be far behind you. Like she tends to not get in your way. Like even when I was trying to take like scenic footage, she mostly stayed far behind me. Especially if I ran off. They're trying their best to make her not seem intrusive. So. Okay, I've got a bit of a hot take. I don't really like Alma or Gemma. I don't really like them. I don't know. I just... They seem boring. They're like... They're boring. I think... Despite everything, I think I like the handler because she was at least like weird and quirky. I'm not picking up on that at all. For Alma. She's too normal and too safe. And that's boring to me, I guess. And I'm not saying they need to be like saying like weird quips every 5 seconds, doodle, you know, like I don't need that, but what I at least I think one is like I like how the cat is being treated in this game. The cat's like, you know, the cat's being cute, sometimes saying like a funny little thing, and but is otherwise taking the mission very seriously. Oh my goodness, I've been talking too much. Have you seen the cutscenes in the new previews? No, I have not seen. Does Alma say something quirky? Does she do like a funny like one-liner? No, what I mean is like, should she show a personality beyond just being a therapist? What's her personality trait? Tell me her personality trait, especially if this is public information. Okay, this is officially released by Capcom. This isn't a spoiler. What is... Because as far as I can tell, she's just normal. Being able to play the cat feels a bit weird. I agree, and I felt it was really weird in Rise. It would feel really derogatory if it was like the same thing. If you were hanging out with like a cat and the cat was like finding ways to like... Actually, no, that would be funny. No, that would actually be funny. If they found a way to like mess with your instincts. What is a human instinct that can be easily toyed? Are Palico's second-class citizens? Kind of. They're kind of treated like slaves. It's not really like slaves. Because they get paid and they're free to walk away anytime they want. I think that it's definitely meant to just be an exaggeration of like actual earth cats. Who, earth cats, like I have a cat who's literally on my desk right now. These cats honestly just want the companionship. Same with like dogs, right? Like they actually just want to hang out with us. They just want our attention. They want to do things for us, and they feel proud when they do. And you know, when we feed them, then we create like a bond, right? It's the same thing. So I think we're not meant to view it too deeply. I think if we view it too deeply, then we'll just confuse ourselves. It's not meant to be taken that seriously. Duram sacrum? What's a sacrum? Striking. Oh, consider rare materials. Okay, well then it must be rare. I did like seeing the cat actually pranking the hunter in the camp. Well, there you go. So the cats do mess with us too. And that's how it should be, right? We're back in a bit. Gonna make some tam pancakes. Oh, 1 a.m. pancakes. Tam. Tailbone. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's what the cats can do, is they can they can just prank the hunters with you know, just messing with their emotions, because hunters can be easily I guess like humans can be easily yeah, I guess, yeah, cats are mischievous. Like my cat will constantly like push things off shelves and then just look at me like, what are you gonna do about it? So yeah, cat. Okay, no, as much as we mess with cats, cats mess with us. Like, let's be honest, they could be assholes too. So I think it's okay. I think it's okay to play with your cat, because your cat sometimes toys with you. I see a feline village in the wild. I heard you got rid of a garuga that was eating them in 4U. What? Does that happen? I don't even... Maybe that does. There's so much like blink and you miss it dialogue interactions. I know there's a Congalella. There's a Congalella that you get the Congalella out of the feline village nest. That does happen. There we go. I knew if I got one last explosion in, it would just die. So I was like, I don't need to sharpen my weapon. The explosion will kill him. Nice. I got a lot of carapaces. Honey. Collect honey. How long have I been going for? Over 3 hours? I think I'm pretty good. I think I'm good here. It was fun talking with all of you. A bit of a chiller stream. Obviously, Game Awards is going to happen. And after Game Awards, you know I'm going to have a stream to do a bit of a follow-up, but I'm also going to make a video on it, of course. I want to try and cover all the news as it comes. And again, I try to be fair, but I am enthusiastic. I'm definitely excited for the content to come in these games. In this game, I guess, in specific. It's exciting. It's really cool. I want to quickly look at the equipment before I go, though. So I still need the Steeler again Scoot. I don't even know with any of these long swords. I'm kind of having fun using Sword and Shield. Armor. Duramboros. That gives me attack up. That is a funny helmet. So is that. Duramboros. Attack level 2. Ooh. What? Would I still get? No, I lose attack up. Yeah. I can't replace that. Because I'm currently using, what's it called? Torso up on the legs. Yeah. I've got that torso up. Brachydios male. I really like the look of the Brachydios male. Bomb boost. It might be worth getting some bomb boost, maybe, instead of attack up, maybe. If I can find a way to like get both skills, attack up, large, and bomb boost. Yeah, I think I'm good here. Let's play the Wilds Village music. Okay. Let's go to my end stream. Yeah, we'll do the end stream. So I want to thank y'all for coming by. It was a shorter stream today, but I really appreciate it. I will be back after the Game Awards. I'll have a new video about the Game Awards. My Ray Dow Lego model. Oh my, I'm really close to the microphone. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. My Ray Dow Lego model will be prepared and will probably have instructions ready. Maybe sometime this week. Probably sometime this week. We'll see. And then I will probably do. Oh, my cat is vomiting. Okay, I gotta go. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day or night, wherever you're at. If you're watching this later, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you around soon. Alright, bye-bye.